We got a brand new entry in the Budget Good RC Car series, and this is from the legendary maker Tamiya. This is the brand new Fighter NXGEN or next generation, basically entry-level buggy, two-wheel drive, electric, 10 scale, and it does come in this beautiful Tamiya artwork. Whenever I see something like this, it just reminds me of the good old days back in the 80s where I'd look at these RC cars in the hobby shop. I never actually got one, but I'd always look at these. They make the cars look super, super cool, and it is based off the DT series, so this is the DT-04. I think this is the only car on this chassis as of today, so they did update the chassis, did fix some things that, you know, I kind of didn't like about the older DT-03 and DT-02. I actually never had one of those, but looks like they did make some changes that look really nice. 10 scale off-road racer. It is a kit you will have to assemble. Does come with Hobby Wing ESC, so that's pretty nice. A brushed ESC and their standard torque tuned Buggy RS 540 motor. And here's some of the updates they kind of talk about. One of the major ones is a brand new chassis, which is adjustable for different wheelbases. So the old one, in my opinion, was too long, and the wheelbase was, you know, fairly long with narrow arms. The arms have not been changed, but the wheelbase is able to be shortened, which I will definitely do. Does have 22.5 degree kickout, which is pretty flat. Most off-road RC cars are more in the 25 to 30 degree range, at least traditionally, for like a true dirt style two-wheel drive buggy. Here's what the chassis looks like. I think a lot of the parts are the same, the arms, the gearbox, but the chassis is all new. I don't know about the wheels and tires, but you can see how the battery now mounts. I think that's also been revised a little bit. So yeah, here's kind of what the box looks like. Some more information here on the back. I think it comes with two different colors. So it does come, I believe, with a basically molded polycarbonate white body, and you can put on the blue stickers, you can put on the red stickers. I will probably go red. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. Includes ball bearings throughout, which is pretty nice. I'm not sure what sold separately means. Maybe you need to buy that ball bearing kit. So I guess it does not have ball bearings, but I do have plenty of ball bearings. I should be able to find stuff that'll match. You'll need a radio, you'll need a battery, you'll need a servo, but it does come with the ESC and the motor out of the box. So yeah, there's a quick look at the vehicle, the box. So it is made in the Philippines, so not China like most other, you know, RC cars nowadays. So as you can see, it's got that traditional Tamiya kind of layout. So all the parts are in different bags. Here are the tires. You will have to mount them up yourself. Here are the suspension arms. Looks like additional suspension arms front and rear. Bag of all the metal parts and kind of the split parts of gigantic gears. I don't know, those are spur gears or what. Looks like a massive differential, springs for the shocks, the oils, a lot of zip ties, body clips, that kind of thing. Steering servo looks like it's included. Some of the electronics, so the Hobby Wing ESC, brushed ESC, which is really nice because Hobby Wing is basically one of the leaders in the electronics category. Some antenna tubes. So a lot of the plastic parts, you will need a sprue cutter to get everything off. So it is always interesting with Tamiya stuff because stuff just comes on sprues and you're always kind of hunting for parts, but looks like they got a white sprue, a gray sprue. Here's the driver. Looks like, I don't know if I'll build a driver. I usually don't. The wheels look pretty nice, white wheels. And then here's the black sprues. Looks like the rear wheel hubs, spindles, some of the, maybe the hexes, shock tower parts. And then you got another one here for more, looks like chassis and shock tower parts. Here's the metal, looks like plastic outdrives. I'm not sure. They look like plastic and metal composite pieces. Dog bones are a mixture of metal and plastic. Here's the chassis, fairly short chassis, definitely looks like it's a little bit on the smaller side, and then the gearbox right there. So yeah, I guess the body wise, it's not exactly like you know, whole Lexan piece or anything like that. We'll have to see how that works, but looks like they're just body panels that probably just screw into the chassis, and that's how you kind of put together a car. So yeah, the next thing we gotta do is put it together, and then we can see how it looks. Alright, we got the DT-04 all built and ready to go. So this is going to be the first run. Some thoughts about the build. I did run the ball bearings. It does come with bushings out of the box. Would recommend spending the 20 bucks on the ball bearing set. Definitely will make things run a lot cooler and probably a little quicker. I'm also running the rear turnbuckles instead of the upper plastic arms. I did find the plastic arms just to be a little bit too long, and if you try to shorten them, the rear drive shafts are actually too long. So this allows you to shorten them somewhat to get some decent camber. Otherwise you got like too much camber out, or positive camber, and I don't think it's gonna drive particularly well. The on-off switch also will not mount into the stock location. I think that was probably designed for the older Tamiya brushed ESCs, but with this Hobbywing ESC, I ended up mounting it. Just kind of taped it to the back here on the rear section. Might make it a little difficult to remove the whole rear transmission, but that just kind of seemed to be the best location. Also packed the rear differential with some TDK grease just to get a little bit better diff action. I think that will help the way it drives. And then in terms of the shocks, I am running one thick spacer up front, which is the thinner, smaller diameter spacers, and then the rear I'm running one medium and one thin one. I think that should be about right. We'll see. And then it does come in two different colors, a red as well as a blue sticker section. So I'm running box art red. And then yeah, the build overall went pretty well. Pretty typical Tamiya. You know, you got to hunt parts off of sprues and match up letters, and you can't really quite tell what color a washer is, whether it's plastic or metal or whatever. But it's not a difficult build. There's no soldering required, no painting required. No gluing of tires or anything like that. So, you know, I think it's a pretty good first kit. If you've never built an RC car, you will need like GIS screwdrivers. They're kind of like Phillips, but slightly different, and that'll just make your life a little bit easier. But yeah, let's try this thing out. We're running a FlySky FSG 11P radio, kind of a basic servo, and then a 2S LiPo. And then the stock ESC is designed for nickel metal hydride, so you want to make sure you got the right jumper setting on the ESC if you're running LiPo. So yeah, overall, man, traction is excellent. I did have a Kyosho Sandmaster 2.0 I ran out here not too long ago, and for 153 bucks so far, quite impressed. It's driving quite nicely. Rear traction is awesome. These tires are great. The front ones also have a lot of steering. Whew, whew. Okay, did smack that little lip off the jump there. There's not a lot of suspension travel, so it does sit kind of low to the ground. Not much droop is basically what it's called, but you know, so maybe not sit up for like huge jumps and stuff, but I'm quite impressed. This is substantially more than the Kyosho Sandmaster, but it definitely drives better. It's a lot faster as well. So probably the other thing I would notice, it looks more racer-ish. It feels more racer-ish there. I can't remember. I don't think there's a slipper either in this thing. So yeah. Considering there's no slipper, it's actually pretty decent and has pretty good control. Flippers kind of allow, doesn't flip over on its wheels very well though. Slippers just allow a little bit give in the transmission and give you just a little bit of extra traction, not going like instantaneous application of torque, which allows the tires to hook up a little bit better when you're getting on throttle. But these tires are amazing. I mean, they're these pretty crazy spike tires, but they very aggressive looking, but very grippy as well. So yeah, overall quite impressed. Let's try a little slalom section here. Steering is, the suspension setup, steering geometry, everything is set up. It feels like a race car. It feels like a Tamiya race car, but it does feel like a race car. So it's low to the ground, probably a little bit top heavy with all those plastic body panels and driver and all that stuff, but wow, If this thing came out in 1986 or something, I think people would be shocked at the performance, because it's pretty good, but it's not rolling to its feet. It is a little soft as well, and I wish I had a little bit more down travel, so you know, the rear tires especially don't extend very far at all, and contribute to why it tends to kind of like smack the ground a lot. But it's also low to the ground and feels like it's on rails a lot more than your typical buggy might, just because it's so low to the ground. It looks awesome as well. Huge fan of the styling. I don't usually like drivers in my kits, but I gotta admit, this thing looks epic. It's an amazing amazing little buggy. This might be my favorite Tamiya I've ever had, honestly. Even though it's just a very simple, straightforward, no frills kind of buggy, and still a little old school. It drives a little more new school, but it still has that like retro styling that I really like. I mean, there's no doubt these types of buggies are like the best looking ones out there, and modern race buggies look nothing realistic at all. Obviously, they're not really meant to. They're just meant to perform, but for like a casual basher or just like a fun little backyard racer, this thing's awesome. Just little jumps there, getting some air, and it's not slow either. This is the, I think, the standard Silvacan. Oh, sounds like I lost something there. Sounds like maybe the pinion fell off. Oh, I lost a drive shaft. So, ooh, actually broke part of the, looks like we broke part of the transmission mount right there. So, yep. Doesn't quite have the modern durability, I don't think. I don't think I crashed it too hard, so a bit disappointing, but I'm sure parts will be cheap and we can get that thing up and going again. So anyways, there you go. Quick run of the Tamiya Fighter NXGEN DT-04. Handling very nice. Build pretty decent overall. Durability maybe not quite there. So the ABS plastic stuff is not quite as durable as modern day composites and stuff, so yeah, but awesome looking little buggy, and the price is right as well. I mean, you will need a radio and a servo in addition to everything that comes in the kit, obviously some basic tools, but with the $20 ball bearings, I think it comes out to about $173 plus that whatever radio and servo you use. But you can get a servo pretty cheap. This is like a $20 servo. You could get a radio pretty cheap, probably under 50 bucks. So you get out the door maybe $250-ish with, oh, you'll need a battery as well, but everything you'll need a battery. So yeah, I do like this bike a lot. I will fix it. I'm a little disappointed that it broke, but that's kind of what you get with these sort of ABS plastics. But anyways, let me know what you think about this buggy. Do you race one of these? I know the DT-03s and 2s were raced a bit, maybe more in Asia and other countries, but you know, there was, I think, even a Tamiya DT class at one point. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe buttons. Look for more very soon. Thanks for watching.